Magic in Firetail is actually amazing. Hello and welcome back to Just Some Space Guy. Magic is a power system that is incredibly common. Nearly every isekai or fantasy series in anime, manga and even outside Japan has magic as its basic power system. But who can blame them? Magic is a power system that is incredibly easy to use and implement into literally everything. You can explain otherwise complex situations with it with just saying it's magic. Using magic as a power system actually helps during the creation process, because you don't need to think about it too deeply, and you can pay more attention on other stuff like characters and story. Of course, this doesn't mean every magic is the same. Many authors use their own interpretation of magic with their own rules and way of usage. For example, in Western media, like Harry Potter for example, magic is mostly used with helps of herbs, wands and other magical items, or magic stuff like in Lord of the Rings. But in Japanese media, ways of using magic are mostly much more diverse. The Japanese market when it comes to creating fiction is just a different breed. Japan puts out so much new content yearly when it comes to novels, anime, manga, books and games that it literally has everything. It has much more traditional usage of magic like wands, to magic books and hand casting with spells on it and magic items. There are even versions that are incredibly unique approach to magic. But one thing that many manga, novels and anime shares in common when it comes to magic-based power system is mana. Mana is a fictional power source that when harvested creates magic. Mana flows through everything and connects everything. Some interpretation make it flow through only living, while others make it flow through literally everything. Some series there are even people blessed by mana. These people are mostly stronger magic users than the rest, for example in Black Clover the elves, so it's make them special. There are even cases in fiction where the worth of people are dictated based on how much mana they have, or special races with higher than average mana compared to humans, or different races and so on. Pretty big number of series use mana as their power source when it comes to magic. Video games, books, novels, manga, comics, anime, movies and so on. Most authors use mana so they wouldn't need to come up with their own power source, or simply because it's easier to understand and explain. Few notable examples when it comes to using mana as a power source is Black Clover and Overlord, and technically every single isekai anime in existence. I mean, what we are expecting, most light novel isekai shows are carbon copies of each other, to a point where it's actually pretty genius. You will talk that Firetail, a show known about using lots of cliché elements, will probably use mana as their power source, since the author, hero the goat Mashima, implemented a magic-based power system. But Mashima actually didn't. Mashima said multiple times that when he was writing Firetail, he didn't plan Firetail to be as long, and it's only making it as a chill short story. Yet even with this, Mashima didn't use mana for his manga. He could have used it since it was a thing in his previous work, Rave Master, but he instead came up with something entirely new, called Ethernano. Ethernano can be found inside all living things, the earth, the air, and through everything. Ethernano is a source of magic power for all mages in the world of Firetail. Every mage has an organ or container inside their body that determines the limits of their magic power and stores the Ethernano. If the container becomes empty, the wizard will absorb it from the air in a natural way, mostly through breathing. You might think this doesn't really make much difference and just sounds like mana renamed, but in reality there is much more to it. Ethernano isn't just a random mythical force surrounding the world of Firetail. Ethernano is actually a particle surrounding all worlds of Firetail. It's similar to oxygen or any other gas around us. It can be even crystallized. The inhabitants of the world of Firetail didn't just learn how to use this powerful force around them, but they developed organs that harvest the Ethernano from their habitats. They even evolved a second container to harvest and store more power inside their body. They literally adapted to their environment. Ethernano isn't just a mana rename. The approach what Mashima have done with it is much more realistic, and he even went further with it when he introduced a poison what attacks and destroys said ether nanoparticles, called Bane particles. It's a particle or poison what is solely created to target Visa. It can kill anyone with ether nano in their body. Losing every bit of ether nano in the body of a person can lead to sickness and death. The people in the world of Firetail evolved with ether nano in their bodies, and something removing and destroying said ether nano in their bodies can straight up kill someone. The way Mashima approached magic source for his work is pretty unique and refreshing. He made a much more scientific approach to it, or something much more realistic, even though it sounds stupid when you think about it, but it's still much more realistic than many magic power in author fiction. Because in many author fiction, this magical power just exists. While in Firetail, this magical power is technically something what was there, and it's just another element, like oxygen and helium and iron and so on. Of course, I'm not saying that the magic source in Firetail is superior compared to other anime and manga. My personal favorite will definitely always going to be the magic power system of Maggie. But the touch what Mashima did with his own gave it a personality. Coming up with unique magic powers always makes fantasy series well much more refreshing and special, especially in the sea of reused ideas and in the ocean of isekai. The anime community always likes to poke fun of Firetail for its mistakes and flaws, but the parts that are actually amazing in Firetail hardly get any recognition. We should praise Firetail more for its amazing aspects, but it has, instead of just nitpicking flaws. Firetail is just amazing, and the magic system in Firetail is great.